David Des Roches is an associate professor at the National Defense University, and he joins me now live from Washington. Thanks very much, Professor, for joining us here on TRT World. Now, in Rahul's report, you refer to these weapons as a game changer, but this is what I wonder at this point. Ukraine had been asking for such weapons since the very beginning of the war. So tell me, why do you think the West decided to give the weapons to Ukraine now? Why not sooner?
Well, it takes a long time to train people to operate them, and it takes even longer to maintain them. But more to the point, the Ukrainian air defense systems uh, are primarily former Soviet Union, and you don't want to have too many different types of systems involved because you complicate the supply chains, the logistic chains. I think that this war was not of the West's choosing, so the West didn't know how long it would go on, and they weren't. We didn't see this kind of generalized air attack until now. I think that these are being fielded because it's recognized that the war will go on for possibly many more months, and that the Ukrainians are running out of their own ex-Soviet Union air defense systems, and we've pretty much scoured countries like Poland and Slovakia that have systems to transfer already to the Ukrainians. So basically, I don't think we have anything else to give them.
Now, Professor, Russia has said that U.S. weapons will be legitimate targets for them. Are you not concerned that this could prolong the war?
Well, the argument that arming the Ukrainians prolongs the war is basically saying, yeah, so they should just surrender and then the war would be over. I mean, Russia could surrender and the war would be over as well. Um, Look, Russia has treated everything in Ukraine, from a hospital to a military base, as a target. So relying on the Russian sense of restraint in this war isn't there. The Russian strategy in Ukraine is the same as the strategy that General Surovkin, the commander of the Russian forces, pursued in Syria, where he deliberately targeted hospitals and then transportation and energy infrastructure in an area to make the civilian areas uninhabitable, so that the military forces wouldn't have anything left to defend. He seems to be pursuing the same strategy there. So the fact that Russia declares something to be a legitimate target or not doesn't really concern doesn't concern me. I mean, in Russian practice, everything is a military target. So why lose sleep over it?
Okay, Professor, I understand you call these weapons a game changer, but in the broader context, help us understand what do you think would be the impact of these weapons on the war in Ukraine in the longer run?
Okay, they're a game changer against certain threats. So the threats that they're a game changer against are ballistic missiles, where they have a proven track record. The Saudi forces, armed with Patriots, have shot down over 200 ballistic missiles, all of which are made in Iran. And these are the kind of missiles that, Russia's missile inventory is running out, and they're talking about procuring missiles from Iran. So they would be effective against that. They'd be effective against high performance cruise missiles. What they would not be effective against are these sort of low end Giron stroke Shahed 136 drones that are being fired at the civilian electricity infrastructure. But basically, they would help neutralize any high end ballistic missile attack from Russia and allow the existing Ukrainian air defense systems, which are legacy Soviet, to focus on the Iranian drone attacks. So that's how they'd make a difference.
All right, Professor David Des Roches, thank you very much for talking to us here on TRT World. Really appreciate your taking out the time.
Thank you.